Thank you for joining me. I hope you are having a blessed day. I want to talk to you about vetting, and I want us to be in a habit of vetting those books that your church says you need to read, those book studies that your church wants you to attend, those speakers, etc. So, I had this experience when I was in the Baptist church that this was presented as this really great tool to reach your neighbors, etc. And so I very eagerly joined up. I didn't have any idea at that point that I should vet things. I just kind of went with it because this is what the pastor said. And so there was another friend of mine, and we were talking about this, and she said, "You know what this book doesn't have?" And I said, "No, tell me." Now remember, I had left the Lutheran church, and she said it didn't talk anything about repentance. And I was like, oh no. So I didn't do any vetting. I just believed what was said from the pulpit. I mentioned to you on a couple of occasions about some other examples. I remember one time in the AG church that I was going to, that they had something in their bulletin about a speaker that was coming to another church and how we all should go. And it took me not even 10 minutes worth of research on the internet to find an article about this person. And this person was in favor of things that God says is an abomination, but yet the church put it in the bulletin and made everybody think that, this is just a great thing. That same church also had a video series by this famous pastor who now is in some hot water from something that happened when he was in his early 20s. He was married with a child and she was 12. And I never liked this pastor. I knew there was something sexual about him that I didn't like, and I didn't know anything about him prior really to this video series at the church that I was going. And so when the story came out about a week or so ago, I didn't want to make a video till there was a statement released by either the church or by him to confirm that this was the case. But it's a pretty famous pastor, and I never liked him. He always rubbed me the wrong way, and I never attended and watched the video series that the church put out on this particular person, or it was a training series or teaching series that he had, because I didn't trust the guy and I got just a bad feeling about him. And I knew it was something sexual. And now this has come out. Now, I'm not criticizing the church for something that was not known about. In that first instance that I gave you, that was less than 10 minutes of research. So I want us to get in the habit where we are vetting these things. That's not to say that you can't read it. That's not to say that you can't go see this speaker, etc. God may ask you to do that, but just because it comes from the pulpit doesn't mean that this is something that is good for you. So in the book of Joshua, here's where we're going today. After Moses had died, when God was speaking to Joshua, there is something here in Joshua 1 verse 8 that I want to share. This book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth. You shall meditate on it day and night, and you may be careful to act in accordance with what it is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous, and then you shall be successful. So it says, meditate on it day and night. And how do we know what God is trying to tell us if we're not reading it and we're only believing what comes from the pulpit? Listen, I am no different than you. Those were things that I did, but because I got burned and because I was lied to, I'm now pretty skeptical. And I don't want to believe it because my pastor says it or because any pastor says it. I want to know for myself. And so let's get in the habit of vetting, doing less than 10 minutes of research, just looking things up so that you are not sucked into something that God doesn't want you maybe participating with, because not everything that comes from the pulpit is something that would be good for you spiritually. So armor up, we ride at dawn. May God bless you as always. Have a great day.